So I was, well, I actually spent a really good evening last night, and I actually slept good, rested. So I was thinking, there is a couple of things that I want to tell myself, regardless of not just about yesterday, but overall about my trading. How is it going? Future, not future, but basically, how has it been? How is the development going? And well, where am I at this point? So there's been like I'm gonna start actually from the I like always to start from the with the worst basically. So I'm gonna go back to yesterday. Thing is, I noticed that I was like feeling like kind of trigger. I was chasing. I wasn't trading the best, and I know why. It has happened before. I think I mentioned yesterday, but basically, I wasn't trading my process. And actually, if I think about the entire past week, from last week's Friday, it's actually it was amazing. Like the first 4 or 5 days, because now that I think about it, like I wasn't focused on my equity at all. I was on the process. I was truly reading price, adapting proper. Even though, of course, I still made mistake, but the point is I was 100% engaged. Like my brain was 100% focused on process and everything. Besides me trading more or less times or more or less trades. So I noticed this a bunch of times actually, but I think yesterday it was more visual than ever. Like I literally force trades, chase trades. I was training my brain in my P&L more than my actual process. And the thing is, I don't need to actually, yeah, I don't need to kind of seek for any other setups or anything weird because I know a lot. I know that I know a lot, technically wise, and in the case of the stocks also fundamentally. But the thing is, I don't need chasing. I don't need to guess or kind of adapt to price. I should anticipate and then act upon that. I think that's where my strength is, and I know I can do that. I've done it before. So I think, like I said, I think 2 days ago, I think in Thursday's session, I need to watch out with myself at a certain time. Especially, I'm learning to more than anything to tackle myself. I like to understand more my well prefrontal cortex and my limbic system and everything. I'm really doing my best to not to be long time depending on my limbic behavior because well that's basically where your fight or flight mode is, and then also you are not like when you act like that you are not thinking about long-term benefits for yourself and your life. So I noticed that when I'm trading my best, and I am aware of this, I am more in my prefrontal cortex at that time. Like I'm being so like mechanical. I'm watching what I need to watch. I'm waiting for price to tell me what's next and things like that. And even though I missed this, this came to my head actually earlier when I was here sitting. Like after this drop, for example, I sorry, before this drop, um, there is signs, like clear signs that basically something is about to occur. So I remember like here I was thinking, okay, I didn't short here because I wanted to have the retest of this 50% of the current day gap, especially the retest of this consolidation. What did the price do? Yeah, it trade lower. Like here, you can see that the open wasn't like crazy volume. It was actually quite tiny here. So like there's like I would say like lack of decisions and things. So thing is, for example, like here, price, yeah, volume increased, price close lower, but then it wasn't the best close. Then it just an inside bar to the upside with pretty much same volume, then it trade higher. The point is this range here to here, that's basically 50 minutes. But the thing is, I need to, for example, continue to pay attention to something that I already knew, but sometimes it slips off my head, which is price is going into an important area where it already like gap down and actually trade lower from, which is this area here. While price is trading higher, look at the volume. This I know, like this is basically how to say. like an indication that there is the price is trading higher at this point for, like I said, 50 minutes, but volume itself is indicating that there is a lack of interest. So this is the places where, instead of leaving the market like I did, I should have been um, engaging. Of course, I don't know if this at this point is that's going to happen, but my point is just to remind myself that these are the things that I know how to do, that I have studied many times, and that I know they can happen. And the thing is, for example, gold, when it moves, I've said many times, it moves a lot, like for the actual asset. One thing that I also wanted to remind myself is that regardless of yesterday being a bad day, like really bad day, let's say overall, I said I'm not mad about it. I'm not like pissed or anything. And I'm actually, surprisingly, I'm actually happy that it happened, because it has to happen for me to maybe realize, I don't know how many times more or if it's gonna ever gonna happen again, but it needs to happen for me to realize that that's not okay. That's really not okay. For example, like this, even though I remember, I think I was talking about this when it happened. Actually, this is where pretty much where I took my trade around here. But these basically, this is an absorption sign. I don't even need to go into looking the values in the volume and the profile, but this is an absorption sign. That doesn't mean that it's gonna trade, all the way to 300 points, but this is a good sign that, yeah, market retested like within the gap and this consolidation here. But he just didn't want to. That meaning, well, there is absorption of sellers happening, and then there's buyers stepping in the market. So things like this I need to keep in mind, to keep watching, to keep adapting the best I can. But yeah, but overall, I'm happy about everything in a sense. I know I can do way better than I did yesterday, so it's really not a big deal. And I know that I'm close to where I want to be. So I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue the way I've been trading this past week, especially, and I will do my best to remain in my prefrontal cortex when I'm trading and when I'm leaving, basically, because this has led me to better decisions overall, to more rational thinking, actually do things that actually make sense for my current self and for my future self as well. So I'm gonna continue with my plan. I'm gonna continue trading the things I know I can trade. I'm actually, I think the idea of me trading mostly in regular trading hours, I think is a really amazing idea, especially for Nasdaq and everything, because I think that's where the real action is. Yeah, I will still watch like certain levels, like London highs and stuff, or maybe daily and big levels. But other than that, I think, yeah, I will continue. Luckily, one thing I wanted to mention, I remember in the past I had the issue of, especially it happens when you are learning, when you are starting, that I was seeking for the strategies all the time. Like I would trade something, then I would change, and so on and so on and so on, until there is this cluster of information that doesn't help you at all. So luckily, I'm happy that I have stopped that. Even though I know, for example, some days I have looked into the Bollinger Bands, for example, but that's also something I learned before, and like I said, helps me just identify the volatility and everything, or ranging market. But other than that, I think I'm happy that I stopped doing those things, that I'm trading what I know the best, and also that, oh, I know it works, especially when I, like I said, I remain um, disciplined, and I do what I need to do. When that happens and when that aligns, I'm likely to be in a great performance overall, and actually become a great trader. So I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna do the best I can to tackle days like yesterday, for example. And other than that, well, I cannot say that I wasn't, but I was a little disappointed actually, and I actually was mad, but it's basically about myself. So yeah, I at some point, I had a plan with somebody I love, and just went out, went to the city to have some dinner. And it was funny because even when I was going there, I was still feeling annoyed. I was, going through some stuff and some discussions, and then in my head and everything. And but yeah, then I got there, I chill. I had to wait a little bit, but then I was, sitting down, looking around, listening to some music, and I told myself like, hey man, like it's okay actually. Nothing has actually happened. There is no the um, like life or death threat there. Like there's nothing really to be scared about. It's just a bad day, or it's fine. So now is the time for you to focus, to chill, to rest, to have a good time with somebody you love. So I actually had an amazing evening last night. I mean, it was actually surprisingly actually good. Um, yeah, we have good food. We ate. We spent some good time together. So I'm really happy about that in every way and anything. But yeah, basically, also you have to remember that one bad day does not define you as a trader. I mean, one bad trade or hundreds of bad trades, it doesn't define who you are and where you want to get as a trader. What defines you is how you take it, how you see those things, and how you get up. Basically, I don't care how many times I fall. I've been falling my entire life, and I managed to get up. So this is nothing new for me. Besides, maybe this is maybe a different field, but I know what I need to do, and I know that this is not stopping me from getting where I want to get. So yeah, next week is gonna be a different week, hopefully, and of course for my best. But hopefully, I say hopefully, but I actually hate hoping. I don't even know why. I need to actually figure out a word to replace that word from my vocabulary because it's just I don't like it. Anyway, I like facts. I like things to be done. I would say set on stones, but yeah, I like to get things done. I don't like to hope. I don't like to none of that bullshit. So yeah, I will do my best to pull the best trader that I can be out of myself, and let's see where we are in the future. Let's see how life decides to go for us. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I think I'm really happy. I'm gonna continue to enjoy my weekend, to have rest. To actually, I'm gonna go and see a friend and have a talk and everything. So yeah, let's enjoy the minus 15 or 20 degrees or whatever is outside. Okay.